East side, west side, worldwide. What's up, family? I'm just wanted to break down this guy today on a piece on a guy that I've been knowing since I was in elementary school. Guy named Booker Sims. Ducey, 5'9", East Coast, mastermind. When I was younger, I used to always go up to the park. And I used to always see a lot of guys that be around Bethune Park. And Ducey lived on, I think he lived on 59th. And I used to always pass by his house. And he lived right, around the corner from Big Whitey. And he had some aunties and sisters and cousins. And it was they had a big kind of like family over there. They had been over there for years. And a lot of years I couldn't go over there because of the other gangs that was over there. But today I wanted to talk about Ducey because Ducey had got 30 years and I ended up running into Ducey. But Ducey and my brother was real good friends and they kind of like around the same age. But I had heard Ducey had caught a Fed case. And I had actually seen Ducey on gangland, and wow, I was like, is that the same guy that I grew up with on the east side? You know what I'm saying? And I had heard that I had fell in 91, and I had heard that Ducey, was doing things, and he had a nice little run, and he got somebody really like told on him and stuff like that, but he had a nice little run. He had a nice little thing. But for this guy to be on masterminds and the gangland, I really wanted to see what they were saying about this guy. So a lot of times I would try to catch masterminds on the gang channel, and then I would see Ducey. I would see Big Cass out of 60s, and I want to do a piece on Big Cass and Tiny Cass. But I see Ducey and the guys that he was associated with. I see them on there, and I see Big Al on there. I see a lot of guys like Dago and different things. But with Ducey, man, I wanted to really see what he was in jail for because we kind of like grew up together, and I just wanted to see how far these guys went after I went to prison. Because a lot of times, man, when I left the street, I seen guys that had they was selling drugs, but when I see them in prison, they had bank robberies. And I was like, how did they go from bank robberies to drugs? I mean, from drugs to bank robberies. But anyway, I had heard that Ducey had a big indictment. A lot of guys was on his case. And I remember when Ducey was younger, I used to ride around their neighborhood, and I used to go to my girlfriend's house that lived on McKee in Compton Avenue. And I used to always see Ducey sitting on the brick wall or sitting on his porch, and I used to be like, "What's up, Ducey?" And I used to be drinking a soda, and Ducey was telling me how I used to look when I was younger and everything. He was like, "Yeah, Fish, I remember you come through and you had the cup and you used to just be have your girlfriend in the car like that." And I started end up going out of town, and that's how I got busted in Texas. And so when I started end up being in the same prison with Ducey, he was telling me, man, what happened and how he got betrayed and everything like that. But I was trying to see why do they had him on masterminds, because when you're on mastermind, that means you was mastering your crime. That means you was mastering that whatever crime you was doing, you was good at it. You did it more than one time, and you were successful at it. But the only way you got caught was a minor mistake, or somebody else made a mistake and got you caught. But Ducey is on masterminds, and we started walking the yard, and he was telling me, man, they charged him for bank robbery, several banks. And he had 30 years, and he was showing me, a lot of his tattoos and a lot of his things that he was trying to keep his family together. And some of his family members had moved to the West Side, and he was just talking about how things changed in LA after, kind of like a lot of the drug leaders left. a lot of the next thing up was like bank robberies, and we kind of like know a lot of people in our neighborhood that was doing things and that fell off, that stopped doing things, start doing things. But I think in the '90s, man, the bank robbery was a big thing after the movie with the black women, the Set It Off. And I think that one of the major, LA became the bank robbing capital of the United States. And I ran into a lot of guys in the feds. I ran into Slim. I ran into Polo. I ran into Sule. I ran into a lot of guys that was into bank robbery, but I seen a few of them that had a lot of time, but they started stacking their sentences with the 924s C's, and because you can't run them together. And I started seeing them stacking those guys' sentences. They was coming in with 50 years, 75 years, 100 years. Cause I remember when Fish and them came in from Avalon, and I just seen so many guys, man, that came in for that bank robbery thing. Guys from Fortray, they was, I guess that was a fad what was going on in the '90s and close going up to 2000. Because I remember Touche, G Mite, and a lot of those guys was in there for bank robbery. And I never really was into the banks. But I see these guys was getting quick money, and they was getting their money and getting out the way. And I seen how the feds was actually giving them a lot of time, and I seen how a lot of time they was stacking their sentences. And with Ducey, since I know him and since he was around my brother's age, I asked him how did you fall into the bank thing. He said, man, it was just exciting. And I never, really went into banks and all that. And I was just, with some guys that was, was real organized and doing different things like that. I don't know if Ducey's still appealing this case. I don't know if he, what is he doing? I know, but he's real short. He's supposed to be getting out. But, bank robbing is more on a whole different level. You know what I'm saying? And I'd been in a lot of states and everything, but I never really, was into scoping out banks, because you got to plan the banks. You got to plan ins and outs, because I knew Speedy from Shoreline. I know a lot of guys, man, that I ended up being in Leavenworth, Lompoc, Polar, Atwater, all of the prisons that had bank robberies. And for these FBI and the FBI to track these guys all across the United States, they must have been real deceptive, because once the FBI get on you, and they following you across the country, sometimes they would just wait for you to rob the bank, and they would shoot the whole van up. But I seen how they come out with a thing called it's a law that they get you for interstate commerce. I see they came out with that, then they was trying to take it back because they was giving all these guys all this time. But just to see the FBI track a guy down from your neighborhood that you grew up with, I don't know if he went to school for this. I don't know what happened, but I know he became one of the most successful mastermind bank robbers on the east side of Los Angeles. And today, we can see that a lot of these guys are starting to get out of prison, and they have a lot of stories to be told. And I know a lot of them is stand-up guys, and I know a lot of them be able to talk about a movie or book deal. I see some of them is really starting to put their mind to the paper, because I know Slim out of 5'9", Big Slim, he got a book out. I seen it. He been advertising his book. I want to give a shout out to his book. I want to give a shout out to Flav book. I want to give a shout out to a lot of the guys that have the patience to write a book on their crime and on a crime that they was accused of. I know that I think Ducey got a book coming out. I would love to see. I would love to read it. But I'm just talking about a guy that I know, that I grew up with, and I used to always see him at the park, and he always been a real disciplined guy. And, he have a nice family. He have a lot of kids and stuff like that. But I'm just being able to, happy to have a platform to be able to talk about some of my homies and some of the guys that I dealt with and some of the guys that I grew up with. East Side, West Side, worldwide.